Good morning and happy Sunday to you. Taking a live look outside over Horsetooth Reservoir right now. A little chilly, still in the teens. We've seen it crank up just a little bit, but that is nothing compared to what we've got in store the rest of the day. Thank you again for being here. I'm Lauren Scafidi alongside meteorologist Jaden Knowles. How are we doing this morning?
We making it, Lauren. You know, I'm battling a cold just a little bit. That's the reason my voice sounds like it does. Sounds like almost Luther Vandross a little bit, huh?
Everyone is going through it. This is really going around the newsroom.
It's okay, but it's all a mindset thing. We're going to be fine.
All right,
and I'll tell you one thing.
Look at that.
I'll tell you one thing. We got these warm temperatures coming, so it's going to keep me nice and warm. I tell you that. We got the 70s returning in the forecast. Overall, though, it's not too warm as of right now. You're heading out the door, getting ready to start your day, maybe taking the dog out for a walk or just getting ready to head out the door for church. Temperatures are in the teens and also the low 20s. We're warming up rather slowly, but we are on track to see warmer temperatures than what we did see just yesterday. Yesterday's high was 46 degrees at the airport officially, and I have 50 degrees forecasted as the high for this afternoon. So looking at temperatures across the entire state, look at Lyman finally starting to warm up. Just about an hour or two ago, they were down to 3 degrees there, 18 degrees over towards Ray, single digits in the high country, and then also the low 20s for the western slope. Satellite and radar, we are nice and dry, and guess what? We're going to continue staying dry as we head into this afternoon, especially even as we head into tomorrow. So your motorcycle forecast, if you want to plan on taking those bikes out, perfect conditions, green across the entire board, and here's what I'm forecasting, the low 50s, but we are tracking a slight disturbance that could give us some beneficial snow for our central and northern mountains. We'll have more details about that later on in the show. Lauren?
Thank you so much, Jaden. We start with breaking news. The Secret Service says agents shot a man with a gun who got into the secure perimeter at Mar-a-Lago. That's President Donald Trump's resort in Palm Beach, Florida. This is all according to the AP. Trump was in Washington at the time. The Secret Service says the armed man was seen by the north gate of the Mar-a-Lago property. They say that he was carrying what looked like a shotgun and a fuel can. His name has not been released. Lots of confusion for Denver drivers this morning. GPS apps like Google and Apple Maps still aren't showing a major change in traffic. It's been about 2 days since Denver's transportation department abruptly changed the direction of 2 streets around East Colfax without a whole lot of warning. Both one-way streets all of a sudden changed to 2-way streets. Drivers on 13th and 14th were almost crashing into each other. The city tried to fix it by putting out a bunch of cones. The map apps still don't have the new 2 streets shown as the old one-way streets. They're going to direct you to turn down a one-way street only for drivers to find that there's oncoming traffic heading right towards you. Denver's transportation department tells us that they did not notify Google Maps and Apple Maps, and they haven't in the past either when making street changes. Many neighbors in the area say they had no idea these changes were coming. The city sent out a news release after they already made the changes. Even the council member who represents the area says that this created an unsafe situation. Voters will decide the fate of the Cascadia development in Greeley in a special election that's happening on Tuesday. The development north of Highway 34 in West Greeley includes a new hockey arena, an indoor water park, a hotel, and new housing. Last month, a group against the project grabbed enough signatures to hold a special election. Now voters are going to decide whether to let the development to move forward.
I think it's way too ambitious. Again, I don't see where it would be supported. You got Blue Arena 20 minutes away that's already established, and it's right off I-25.
There's a tremendous amount of what's called leakage where people are going to other communities like Loveland, like Fort Collins, and they're spending their sales tax dollars there.
Is specifically about the zoning around the proposed development. If voters choose to change it, developers say the project would be put on hold for at least a year while they try to figure out funding and next steps. No one has been arrested still this morning after at least 2 people were killed and several others hurt. It was a mass shooting. It happened in Richmond, Virginia on Saturday morning. Police say an officer was on patrol and observed a large fight in a neighborhood. A man and woman were found dead with apparent gunshot wounds. Police say 7 others were shot and taken to the hospital.
The violence has to stop. Not only is my family affected, but there were other victims and families affected. No family should have to feel this, especially during this time of year. We're here to celebrate, and now we're leaving this celebratory moment in grief.
Police believe there were at least 2 shooters, but the investigation is ongoing. President Trump announced this weekend he's increasing global tariffs to 15%. The new tariffs, announced this weekend under a different trade law, will take effect on Tuesday. However, those can only be in place for 150 days unless Congress votes to extend them. The tariff situation is expected to be one of the main topics of conversation during the State of the Union address on Tuesday night. This comes after the Supreme Court struck down a sweeping list of reciprocal tariffs on Friday. The High Court says those tariffs were put in place illegally. President Trump said on social media he has withdrawn his endorsement of Republican Congressman Jeff Hurd, who represents Colorado's 3rd District. Hurd was one of 6 Republicans who voted to pass a resolution to repeal Trump's tariffs on Canada. Trump posted his opinion on Truth Social yesterday. The president withdrew his support from Hurd and instead endorsed a long-shot GOP challenger. That's Hope Scheppelman. With Trump's endorsement, anything is possible in this race, especially if that money starts to flow in. Hurd has said that it was his, quote, responsibility to defend the separation of powers regardless of political convenience after he voted to defy the president. You'll want to wait to get out to the airport for a little bit. It's going to be a little bit earlier this week because as of this morning at 4 a.m., the Department of Homeland Security is suspending programs like TSA PreCheck and Global Entry. The move comes 1 week into a shutdown of DHS funding. It's a decision made by the Trump administration in response to the partial government shutdown. Travelers will want to pay extra attention to the bag requirements while packing to avoid prolonged screening. And we are checking out what's happening at the airport and keeping up with Flight Aware as flights are changing. So far this morning, more than 11,000 flights are delayed, while more than 3,000 flights are canceled across the U.S. For us here in Denver, we've got 58 delays and 42 cancellations at DIA this morning.